Hello. I'm back. We're gonna do some two octave scales and some shifting in this video. So if you watched the last video with the 1 octave scales and the arpeggios, we're gonna basically build on that. We're gonna start with the G major scale, except this time we're going to do 2 octaves, and we are going to shift. Oh yes. So if you've been playing the G major scale and going all the way over to the E string, you can keep doing that. But we're going to try it where we shift. So first of all, if you know the D major scale, you know that you get up to that A string and then shift up. Well, this time we're going to shift on the G string. Well, I'm sorry, on the D string up to G. So the beginning of the G major scale, and then we shift. All right, we are going to kind of take this a little bit more slowly here, as arpeggios are a pretty new concept. But the arpeggio basically takes the first note of the major scale, the third note, the fifth note, and then the top note, the octave. And if you're doing more than 1 octave, you just continue from there. So for example, with the G major scale, we're going to use the open G string, and then second finger for B, and then open D, and then we're going to shift, oh yes, up to the G, which is now going to be first finger because we're in third position, and then third finger for B, and then first finger over on the A string for D, and then all 4 fingers down for that G, for that top G. And if it's in tune, it should sound beautiful. Let's go from the bottom. Open G to start with our G major arpeggio. And I am actually going to turn myself this way so you can see maybe a little bit better what my fingers are doing. Hopefully this helps. So we're going to start with open G, 2 fingers down for B, open D, shift, 3 fingers for B, cross over to the A string, first big finger, and then all 4 fingers down for D. So let's do that G major scale and G major arpeggio together, all the way through, not too fast. 1, 2, ready, go. I think that if you think about it, it's actually easier to do the arpeggio than it is to do the major scale, because you have a chance to shift on that open D up to your first finger and then back down. Let's go on now. Let's go ahead to the D major scale. If you feel really good about your G major, if not, rewind it, do it again. It's okay. All right, so D major scale, 2 octaves, 1, 2, ready, go. arpeggio. Exactly the same as the G major arpeggio, just over one string, D string and A string instead of G and D, right? Now, we talked about the A major scale in the other video. I'm going to leave that one be for today. Instead, I want to talk a little bit about shifting. As we're practicing these scales and arpeggios, if you notice, probably the trickiest part is getting from first position up to third position in tune. And I want to give you an idea of how to practice that. If you isolate these shifts, you can just practice going back and forth between those two notes, and it'll be really helpful for you. So for example, in the G major scale, our first shift, the first time that we have to shift is from, or make any sort of big change, our pitfalls, if you will, is from that second finger, F sharp, on the D string up to where the third finger would be, right? So the really good way to practice that is to go from second finger to third finger, and then back to second, and then shift up to the first, and then back to second, and then third. Back and forth until it's easy. So you're just playing F sharp and G, but every other time that you play G, you're either doing first finger or third finger, depending on whether you're in first or third position. Next thing that you can practice for that one is that crossover. It's not really a shift, but it's a crossover from the C on the D string, where we have that C natural, and then we have to get to that D on the A string. So if you have your fingers tunneled, this is a word I don't use often enough, but if you have them tunneled, I don't know if you can see that, but my third and fourth fingers are down. You can even put your second finger down on the D string, and without touching the A string, you can still have that first finger down for the D. So you have your first finger down for D on A string, third position. Should match your D string pretty well. And then you want to have those three fingers over there for you on the D string. And there's that shift again down to the F sharp. Now in the arpeggio, there's our next shift, right? We have to go open D to G, which is open string to three fingers ordinarily, but in this case we're going to do open string and then first finger. So same idea, alternate first finger or third finger with the open string in between, and that'll help you practice that shift. The other part of that arpeggio where it's a little tricky is getting from that B in third position, three fingers down, up to the D string, the D on the A string, the first finger. So you may want want to practice that string crossing to help you out. You can do the same thing with the D major scale and the D major arpeggio. And then going up the scale. You want to practice that getting from the A on the E string, first finger or third position, back to the G. And keep practicing that C sharp and D shift. Hopefully this helps. I guarantee you if you practice that shift by itself, either from F sharp to G or from C sharp to D, and just practice that over and over again all by itself and then go back to play the scale, you're going to notice an improvement. Absolutely. So good luck.